Hi, my name's Dan, and this video post is following on from an article that my colleague Charlotte shared, which focused on the particular impacts of COVID-19 and remote working, specifically on more junior talent. In the article, Charlotte pointed out 5 different areas that are particularly challenging for that employee group. And in these video posts, we're going to try and focus on some tips on how to support them through each of those 5 different areas. Now, the one area I want to focus on in this post is furlough and the impact of that on junior staff members and how you can support them. Now, research shows that junior team members are much more likely to suffer from being furloughed. And of course, this can be a real unhelpful pause in their career development and hamper their confidence. And even if they don't suffer from being furloughed, they are more likely, if they are staying within the business, to be the people who are picking up that extra work that's being created by others who've been furloughed or made redundant even. So, if they have been furloughed, what are the things to think about? 2 things. The first area to talk around is how to effectively stay in contact with them and keep them connected to the business and the team. The second thing is to think about how to ease them back in from furlough if they have been put in that situation. So let's start off with the first of those, is how to stay connected with them and keep them in contact with the team or organisation. So one thing to think about here, of course, is to make sure that they're updated with company news, so they know what's going on within the team or across the business. Another thing to think about too, of course, is that this is a real block to their social contact with the rest of their colleagues. So any social events that you're arranging for the team, make sure that the furloughed staff are being included in that. Third thing to think about is training. In most cases, furloughed staff are allowed to attend training courses. So therefore, make sure anybody that you have on furlough is participating in those actively. And then the last thing to think about in terms of keeping in contact with them is that human element. Just make sure that you're carving out that time to check in on them, to see how they're doing, what they're up to, what they're feeling, what they're thinking. And now we can take a quick look at how you can ease them back in from furlough if they've been put in that situation. One thing to think about, of course, is buddy them up with other team members, people who've stayed in the business. That gives them a chance to reconnect and rebuild the relationships that might have been hampered from them taking time out. The second thing is that if you think about the team as a unit, then of course staff being furloughed from it puts a real pause on the development of that team. So therefore, when you're bringing people back in, it's a good opportunity to give them a chance to reset and discuss and agree on what are the best ways of working going forward and create some form of team charter or team pledge. Another thing that you can also consider is giving those furloughed staff, when they're coming back in, an opportunity to reflect on the things that they've really picked up that are useful for them whilst on furlough that they can bring back with them. And then the last thing, of course, is that as a manager of that group of staff, it's definitely worth staying closer to them, making sure that you're setting them some short-term objectives and goals, and then regularly checking in with them to see how they're doing. We'd love to hear from you about your experiences with working with junior talent during this particularly difficult time. So please join the conversation and share any comments related to this. I hope the post was helpful. Please look out also for the next of the video posts in this series, where Charlotte will be focusing on how to support junior talent and their mental health and well-being.